did you tell me this morning now?
We're right around 450 employees. Yeah,
Yeah.
bodies.
And our hope is by passing the proposition that we would be able to address the community's needs for quite some time. We need to expand our emergency room. We need to update some of the technology that's available to us and also increase our surgical capacity. We have one room. And then also to pave the way for new services, and we'll talk a little bit about that. We're kind of excited about some of the opportunities that we have.
Yeah, so as you guys know, we are just growing. I mean, we're maxed out on space. Right now, our ER visits are right about 10,000 a year. Primary care visits are up over 35,000. Surgical infusion referrals continue to come in, but we again have one OR room. It's not very efficient when our surgeons have to do a surgery and then wait for the room to be turned over before they can continue. That just delays when people can come in to get their surgeries. So right now, the local impact by not having a larger hospital, lab tests are being sent to Spokane, all microbiology, longer wait times for any specialty care. They have to drive to Spokane or Coeur d'Alene for certain services. And then just patient delays from either not being able to get in to us as soon as they can or having to go to Spokane or Coeur d'Alene. And even then they're still waiting when we could be providing that care here locally. One of the things that Kim and I look back on is this, when this hospital was built, it was primarily around inpatients. So at the time, if you had a surgery done, typically you'd be staying overnight. A lot of cases that would be the case. So in 1993, 48% of our patients were outpatients. Today, it's 88%. Our hospital wasn't built to do that much outpatient.
Well, and even surgery, who would have ever thought that you would be having total hips, total knees, and total shoulders and go home the same day? And that's one of the reasons that we become so busy. That wasn't even an option for us previously because they did have to stay overnight. In fact, at one point in time, Medicare, they were an inpatient only procedure.
Mhm.
You had to make them an inpatient. And so that's when we built the hospital, that's what we built it for. But what we've seen is that everything has trended towards outpatient and it's going to continue to go that way. In fact, some of it's even going to in the home. I mean, we're even doing some of that now with reaching out with telemed.
Yeah. And that's not even unique to us. That's just healthcare in general. It's shifting from inpatient to outpatient. So some of the community benefits, what are the local benefits that this would provide? Is one, avoids the 45-mile trip to urban centers such as Spokane, Coeur d'Alene, like we talked about, saving gas, less time off work, more time with family, keeps care close to home. So being able to go down the street and have your procedures done is helpful. Improve access and convenience, faster results. Right now, for microbiology, certain lab tests, when they're being sent to Spokane, it's a 2-day delay. And this is something that can be done same day. You would have those results same day if we had it in-house. Improve patient flow. You guys have been in the hospital. It is very, it's like a maze walking through it. Almost every single day when I'm walking through, I see a patient in some area or not, where I have to try to help direct them to the right area.
Especially if you're downstairs.
Especially if you're downstairs, yeah. Which is interesting because almost all of our patients are over at the clinic right now. And when they come over, they're entering down in at the ground floor. All the services are upstairs. So they're having to walk through and try to find their way. Job growth. Almost immediately, we would be hiring at least 20 to 25 positions. And then economic impact growth, keeping funds here in the community. And then I'll let Kim go ahead and talk about some local services.
So one of the things that we're really excited about and being able to do a little bit more with is oncology and infusion services, doing more of that. Currently, we have that nestled back in a little corner on the acute care floor, which has one of the things that's done is that it takes up what typically could be 2 more rooms for acute care. And it's growing, but it can only grow so far because of where it's located. Oncology, when I mentioned that, we actually, we've been trying to get in touch with some of the local providers of oncology. Cancer Care Northwest just recently, they were, they were actually acquired by a much larger, facility. It's a nationwide service. The doctors have remained independent, but they are the buildings and everywhere that they are now is actually belongs to another service. We were trying to reach out to them, but kind of jumped in our lap just here recently. We had, Dr. Robbins, who's a provider who has started doing surgery at our facility, has a specialty in breast procedures. And she's wanting to start a whole breast cancer program here. And she has been working with an oncologist from, do you remember the name of it?
Summit Oncology.
Summit Oncology. And apparently there is, and we've we're starting to make the contact, but she gave us the name. There's an oncologist that actually wants to come and have a presence here and to be able to come on site. And so that would mean that we could be able to potentially, we know we could do the chemotherapy here. And the infusions therapies, but would really be nice is if we had that partner that would actually be out on site and would be able to come and do some of that stuff. Cardiology, we have partnered with, Providence Cardiology at this time. We're doing echo now at our facility. There again, we have put our echo machine tucked into part of the old 58 building is where we're currently located with that. And another thing is pain management. I've had numerous phone calls from CRNAs that would like to start coming out and doing the pain management for us. We don't have a place to put them. We actually went upstairs to the OR to try to see if there was a niche that we could try to put them in, but then it was a matter of being able to have your pre and post-op and where you could do that, and that you could then have that flow for the pain management patients pre and post. So I know that in fact, our goal would be, rather than having somebody come on once a week, we'd like to have them. We want to hire our own.
Yeah, have them
We want to have somebody here that's integrated to our practice. MRI. I don't know if any of you have been to the MRI. It's outside. It's a nice machine. In fact, it's the wide bore. It's a great machine, but it is outside.
Right.
And there has been some perception with that. I mean, we've literally had some folks show up that are like, well, I'm not going in there. And once you get through those doors, it's just the same. However, it's extremely expensive. It's how much?
38,000 a month. Wow. So and within 2 years, you pay for your own MRI.
And we currently, right now, we're running 4 full days a week, and they're actually now doing a study with the ED and trying to establish if we need to hire another tech and if we need to start offering that service, what might be getting sent out from here because we don't have a tech on after hours. And if we
Can I ask on that, Kim, are you able to bill more than $38,000 a month?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, if you come out, yeah, I mean, you're in the black having it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But here again, we have barriers with the weather.
Oh, sure, yeah.
It's terrible when.
It's less
you
than
know, they
ideal
come-
Yeah.
in every way.
Come and sign in, and then especially when you've got those instances, they now have, fortunately, this new machine does have a changing room. But previously, we literally had to wheel patients out there in their gown that they were gonna have their exam in. So, I mean, it's a step better, but we could it would pay for itself to buy one, and it would be about 2
In
years.
about 2 years, a little over 2 years.
And then,
To be indoors, not in a trailer.
Yes, and its own suite.
and then surgery availability, as I indicated, we only have 1 room right now. What we want to do is add 3 additional surgery rooms. We have doctors, Dr. Schicker would love to do more surgeries here. He's booked out about 5 to 6 weeks now before he can do his surgery because of OR block time. And Dr. Robbins is just starting with us. She initially started out, she was just gonna do every other Friday. I think now she's gonna try to come and do every Friday.
Every Friday.
But it's like they're splitting up. Dr. Schicker was picking up some Fridays, but now that Dr. Robbins has started coming, there's gonna be some difficulties there.
But everyone's fighting over the one.
Yeah.
room.
And then our emergency room space, based on the studies that were done, it is anticipated that we need 12 rooms and 2 beds that are for behavioral health. Because we can move them.
Yeah.
We can do the clutter.
Yeah,
Um,
so having those behavioral health safe rooms would be
yeah.
critical.
And right now, I don't know, I'm trying to remember which presentations you guys have been at, but one of the things we do for behavioral health now, we don't have what we call safer rooms.
Mhm.
And we literally take the mattress off of the bed, lay it on the floor, wheel the bed out, take everything off the walls that possibly the patient can use to harm themselves. And that's how we service that patient. I mean, they come in to do lab draws and that sort of thing. They're down on the floor with the patient to do their work. And sometimes they're there for way longer than we'd like them to.
As long stays.
Just because of the challenges getting them into Spokane. So
So yeah, we do understand this comes at a cost. So on our early estimates, we're looking at about $1.47 per 1,000 assessed property value. So for a $51 million bond, up to a 30-year term, for like a $300,000 property assessed value, we're looking about $37. So again, understanding that this is a cost to the community, we want to offer for taxpayers a credit at the hospital. Currently, we have in here $500 a year, but we were talking to the board right now about extending that to $750 potentially, and then also being able to use this for down at Severs for pharmacy, for prescriptions.
and that came out of one of our meetings.
It did, yeah.
In fact, I think it was.
You were there. But that got
Mhm.
Yeah,
mentioned,
yeah,
that we
Mark
should
brought
be-
it up and they liked that idea. We actually talked with them at the last meeting and they were the ones that said, we talked a little bit about inflation and the fact that that $500 provision is currently there when we built the assisted living. And had talked about that perhaps we needed to raise that up a little bit, that the dollar just doesn't go as far as it used to.
Mhm.
And so they proposed, they want it to be moved to $750, and then we talked about using it for prescriptions. And that, I think the nice thing about the prescriptions is you're looking at different demographic as far as who can use that.
Mhm.
And that was part of what Mark had brought up when we were at that meeting. A lot of people, your younger people might only be coming in for their preventative treatment, and a lot of that, if you have insurance, first dollar is covered by the insurance companies. But even like with our Medicare patients, a lot of them have their Medicare and their supplement, and so they're pretty much covered. But what they don't have is all of them experience a donut hole with paying for their meds. And that would give them opportunity to be able to use that. And our goal being that it helps pay back the members who are paying the taxes, because we recognize that's, in fact, we were just talking about trying to get some statistics, but we know that 30% of our business comes in from Idaho. And then a lot of it is, Priest Lake and the traffic coming through. And so we feel like to be able to do something to recognize that, because the taxpayers would be the one helping us do this, something that we can get back to them.
So you guys have all seen the rendition here before. I won't go into it too much in depth, but what we're looking at is about 36,000 square feet in that orange new 3-story build. And then as far as the ED goes, right now it sits at 2,400 square feet. It would move it just over 5,000 square feet, so doubling its size, which would get us all the rooms that were needed.
And so the new section, what's gonna happen is that on the ED, It will be expanding into like where the radiology currently is and also into the lobby area so that they have more space and that they can take care of patients, and that entrance would remain the same. That's typically what you see in most hospitals, that your ED is separate from your main entry point.
Yep.
So,
And again, so then when patients being seen by their primary provider, they can go straight across, be able to have a waiting area for loved ones, wait for their exams, and it'd be much more functional for the patient. All right, so I think we'll just open it up
No.
for if you have some questions.
yeah, but what do you
So
wanna know, or what
Yeah.
thoughts do you have?
I will share my thoughts first, if that's okay. From a just long-term feasibility perspective, this is an imperative. It has to get done. From a, so you asked sort of what points, this would be the single greatest economic development tool that Newport and Ponderay County could have for a generation. The amount of leveraging up of dollars and the cascading effect of new employees. I mean, we work hard on that issue. It's right here to get it done at a large scale. In terms of the financial durability of the hospital, I mean, in healthcare, largely supply creates its own demand.
Mhm.
The Medicare, Medicaid, indigent care reimbursement models, okay, we don't have to have that.
Yeah.
Sorry to introduce a down note, but it's gonna be an increasingly competitive environment. And one of the responsibilities that public servants have is to gauge the long term and to make sure that there is the viability there. So that kind of summarizes my general comments. I'm one commissioner. I would be enthusiastic about signing a resolution supporting this measure. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
I think the success or failure, of what you're trying to do, hangs on your ability to communicate. Not just the need, but the opportunities like Robert talked about.
Sure.
And it's not just, oh, well, we need this, this is an opportunity for the community. And I think your guys' success or failure is gonna hang on that ability to communicate that clearly. Operating a nonprofit, what I'm assuming you have is a
Yep, we are
public
not, we're
nonprofit,
a public
is
nonprofit.
so tricky. Because you're dependent upon people understanding when you come happy pain.
Mhm.
And there's a segment of people that, you know, not a large one, but there's a segment of people that are just gonna be no.
Right.
And their default answer
Yeah.
is no.
Yeah.
And one of the things I was thinking and jotting down for notes in my mind is people feel disrespected. And they feel, the electorate feels disrespected because, well, we said no already. And so I think you need to build trust. And you need to build respect among the electorate and among the voters that we're competent, we have a plan, there's an opportunity here, and it could benefit everybody. And that will be just more along the lines of advice.
Sure, yeah. That'd be great.
And, you know, I think I would probably support a resolution. You know, it's the first I thought about it today.
Mhm.
I think for my district, primarily my district's going to call the, you know,
Because they're in public hospital district number 2.
right.
But your
And-
people are using us a lot more.
There are more and more, I think, yes. And you know, we always have that debate, and several times we've taken a ride in the
Yeah.
ambulance in our household. We're like, what are we going over the pass or are we going to Newport? You know, and depending on the day, how long it takes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I think,
Right.
so it goes either way in my district. But in my opinion, you really need to work on the communication, and I'm not saying you guys are doing it wrong. But that's what's needed, is not only do we respect the voters, we respect their opinion, we're gonna listen to them, but they need to respect us. And they need to understand that we see an opportunity here and we see a need and we want them to invest in it. So to me, that's where I would start,
Thank you.
just off the top of my head. John, you understand?
Oh, come on, Brian.
Always.
No, I do. Well, I'll be the contrarian. as usual. Your local benefit is 3 lines buried on the front page of this. I flipped the script on that, which is more in keeping of what Commissioner Smiley is saying. And that should be a much longer list. I want to get creative and think outside the box on that. Would like to see, I don't know, numbers on sales tax, numbers on, I mean, just all the metrics you can get to say, look how much value we provide, even if you haven't been to see us this year.
Sure. Yeah.
Even if you haven't been to see us this year, because when I'm talking to people, that's one of the things I get a lot of. I don't use Newport Hospital Health Service.
Yeah.
You know, maybe they use New Health, maybe they go to Spokane, maybe they're just healthy.
Mhm.
I don't know. And please be clear, just like I said last time, you are the very closest to a sure thing. The 3 of you personally and Newport Hospital and Health Services, the very closest to a sure thing. Your business is driving the request instead of vice versa.
Yeah.
My concern about maybe a resolution is competing priorities, is the school's up for 50 with some desperate need. The EMS district, right? I mean, the whole conversation that happened there, those guys are always, you know, I'm trying to pass their own levies. And so it's like, is there enough to go around? And would this be the highest priority? And I don't know that I've solved that in my own head yet. Where I'll go knock on doors for you, and I'm more than willing to have the conversation with anyone who's listening. But some of this is going to be homework on your part, of course, to say, hey, come see us again for the first time. There are a lot of people that's like, I don't use Newport Hospital and Health Services, but let me tell you what I do know. What I do know is I can't afford another dime in taxes. And so that there'll be some real work there, as you well know. I know I'm preaching to the choir. I'm not going to say, well, I can't be moved to a place where I would support it like that. If I knew the school and the hospital were both going to be on the ballot for 50 mil apiece, I mean, you're asking for an impossible choice there, right? So let me think about it.
Well, and that's part of, we actually did speak with Dave Smith when we first decided that we were gonna go out and trying to coordinate that. We did not, in fact, it's part of why we didn't start talking about having this on the ballot,
Yeah.
because we wanted to give him his chance to be able to go out and to run.
That's a fair point, Kim.
And we also did check in with him to find out, are you gonna run it again this year? And they're not.
At least not to our knowledge of our last conversation.
Yeah, unless something. has
Sure, yeah,
changed. Maybe he will change his mind, but I think one of the other things, and we didn't even hit on it in this presentation, and I don't know how many of the community members know this, but we do an awful lot with growing healthcare providers. The last 3 physicians that came to us came through the UW program. 2 of them actually did a rotation here. Dr. McNamee actually did from beginning to end for 3 years. He came and he was here for different stints. We also train ultrasound techs. We train imaging. We do MAs. We actually have our own program now that we're getting ready to start. I think it's our 4th cohort of MAs that we, in fact, we're getting ready to advertise for 2 to go into this next round, where they actually work for us for a year. And during that,
Medical assistant, by the way.
yeah,
Spell out.
always forget about acronyms.
Yeah.
And they work for us for a year, and when they're done, they actually have their MA license. 5 minutes, is that what that was?
That's what that was. Sometimes it's just high.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think what else.
When is a sort of cutoff date for when a resolution is most effective for you to have?
Well, the ballots drop in,
July 17th.
yeah. And, yeah, it is 17.
Yeah, so I think
by the end of June.
Yeah,
We'll be having some community learning opportunities to come and learn about this and ask questions and all of that spread out. I think we've got 4 of them scheduled and one will be virtual. So, I mean, we will have all of those opportunities too for the.
We're gonna do one up at Camas and then also at our, the Ponderosa room, which is in that old annex area, and trying to get the word out. I don't know how many events you have us
I think
scheduled
we
for.
have 2 of them there, right?
Well, there's total, 14 in all, but there's 4 that were
Just
we're hosting.
specifically the hosting and trying to, we thought we might just tour people through the hospital and let them see what they got now.
We're so busy.
What does the rest of the campaign look like? So have you been to the town halls?
We're going to BOCC Hospitol tonight.
Mhm.
And so, right now what we're doing is we're reaching out to see if there is, an opportunity, if there is meaningful interest. And see how that goes.
And
So,
I think we're scheduled for Newport, aren't we?
yes,
And then you plan on having any booths at any events? I mean, is it gonna be anything like that or?
You know, well, we're always at the fair.
Yeah.
But that's gonna be after the fair.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, this is always conflict.
with the rodeo.
The rodeo is the same weekend that we go, it's our annual thing in Chelan for the Washington State Hospital Association.
Yeah.
And it just makes it's almost impossible to be able to do something at that.
Yeah.
We are gonna do the stand,
Veterans Day now.
yeah, when is that? We are gonna be
I would have to look.
participating.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're participating in the stand down that's gonna be in the park. I think there's a lot of veterans that don't know everything that we can do for them. We do partner with the VA.
Mhm.
And we see a lot of VA patients where we have a contract under the VA care. And a lot of them are coming for their procedures and they're also doing their family practice
Yeah.
there. So,
Okay,
um,
well, let's, I mean, I know you guys are gonna put the mileage on. I know you are. So maybe Justin works with Robert and draft something that we can read and
That's
and see if we can get behind, agree with, and you guys will keep up your
Yeah, John
hard work.
John, you've said it many times, and that's the challenge is there's people that,
it doesn't matter what you say.
it doesn't matter what you say, but it's also they simply can't afford it.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, oh no, and that's,
And they simply are just, I just can't.
Yeah.
And you know, this is not unlike the discussions the smallest towns have with their water sewer rate.
right,
You know, you can sit there and tell them, we need to replace this infrastructure, we need to replace this infrastructure, and they'll look at you and says, I don't have any more money to.
Right.
yeah.
Right.
So it doesn't matter what you need.
Sure.
Well,
And
okay,
so
yeah.
that's the conversation we're at, and that's the challenge.
Absolutely.
That's the challenge, especially in your case, when you're servicing a broad geographic area, but you're asking a small geographic area to
Just
contribute to that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we've talked about that.
And that is why why the board is doing the resolution.
Yeah.
To help offset that.
Yeah.
And it is true. I mean,
Yeah.
you got a
Yeah.
small number of people that are,
And certainly where you have an understanding of economics, you know that this is a wealth builder, you know that it generates, specifically what we're talking about. I'm looking at the map, not the map, I'm looking at the
rendition.
rendition. And I probably already have the answer to the question because it looks like it's really all in that orange. There is no smaller version of this that is anything.
You could make the argument that if costs continue to inflate, that you could shrink that down a little bit, but typically that's what we're gonna need is a 3-level building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're trying to position ourselves that we aren't, that we. can-
Yeah, you
that
built
this is
two
an
and yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Now you're running out of space.
Added a lane each way and I
Yeah.
should have added, yeah.
Just actually, one of the things we did do is that we did send out for some appropriation dollars for the clinic to add a whole nother bay. I think it's 14 exam rooms
Mhm.
to get our specialty care in there. And our express care is just going crazy. Yesterday, they saw
36.
36
37.
patients through express care. and I think it was 24, 25 through the ED, and those would have been patient, I mean, it just keeps growing and growing,
Were any of those rural hospital dollars, but you know, the sort of backstop dollars
Not for
available for
this.
anything like this? Not,
can't
nothing
do a
like this.
building.
Yeah.
Okay.
no
No
construction.
building, no, that's a whole nother story.
Yeah,
We won't
that's a
go there
long
since
story.
I know that we're not probably now out of minutes,
Yeah.
so.
So I do want to wrap up or Chris Wagar moved out of the area. She was one of the Ponderay County representatives to the Public Health Advisory Boards. We're looking for replacement. If you know anybody who would like to serve on that, let me know so I can report to Matt Shands at the Tri-County Health District that we have someone who's interested. I don't mean to overrun this, but I
No.
want to get that in.
Thank you.
And with that, is there anything you guys would add in the last couple of minutes?
No, but if you think of anything that we are not, or you get a brainstorm about things that might be more important to the community that we aren't thinking about.
You know, and I was thinking about that a little since the last meeting. We know, I mean, certainly a lot of the community leaders see you at all of the events, but it does seem like it's the same 60 people at all the events, you know? And so it's like, does the community know how much you give and where? I don't know the answer to that, you know, so maybe some of the philanthropy in there.
Sure.
It
Yeah, I know
is a
that's the
good thing.
challenge. It is,
Because we do have to stick with like the foundation bylaws and
Mhm.
how the foundation is set up and how it supports. But,
Yeah.
you know, one thing to consider too is people are spending a lot of money driving back and forth to Spokane for their,
Sure.
you know, for some of their tests.
And
Gas is just
Yeah.
gonna keep going up.
Mhm.
I would focus on those opportunities.
Right.
Sure.
The opportunities of economic development, the opportunities of reduced costs, and the opportunities of reduced expenses for your constituents.
DOT exams is something that we just recently added, and I know that's been huge for a lot of the employers because it takes the whole day away from
Right.
work if you go to Spokane.
Well, and it's an easy story to tell. You might use a map for that one, you know? I mean, it's an easy story to tell. And you've got a little red line between this house and the hospital and results in a few hours. And then this long line to Spokane. And, you know, I mean, it could really, you know, be compelling. Why are you doing that? Why are you still going? Don't you know we do that here and we do it fast?
We did put together a explainer video that
There
we're
you
probably
go.
gonna be having up on the website within I expect in the next couple of days.
I would.
One of the things that we're wanting to do is that we're going to probably call a special board meeting to have the board actually sign the resolution. They gave instructions for what they wanted done with it. But that way we can incorporate that into the video. So that
Sure.
it's for the 750 and that it includes Sebers, because right now it does not include Sebers.
Right. Good.
For prescription drugs, folks, not chimes.
Yeah.
Right, got it. Yeah, I hear you. And of course, to keep the main thing, better healthcare outcomes are directly proportionate to how far someone has to travel for healthcare.
Absolutely.
Well, and we just had some really great news today from our chief nursing officer. That apparently she's been talking with Providence and there's an opportunity for us to weigh up our game with our stroke program and being able to keep people local.
Nice.
Minutes matter.
Yeah,
All right.
absolutely.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it,
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
especially since you've sat through this before.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to give them a list of our old villains.
Yeah.
Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't know how many people go to this.
I know, right? You always hope for a good turn.
Yeah, I don't know.
Trying to get it in front of people.
Yeah. All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You wanna sit down here for your
Sure.
update on the America 250?
Oh, I did be stretching my legs, so.
Not closed.
Don't want you to see all those emails.
Oh, man.
I'm not sure if I'm gonna share my screen or not. Okay,
You're the expert on that.
okay. This is just for the commissioners to see our schedule for the week of service, what we have so far. And I sent out another reminder this morning because mainly one department had signed up until this morning. And so we're still missing some of the big departments like counseling,
Mhm.
like no response yet. IT, except I did see Amy just signed on. So we still have a lot of people, hopefully, that'll sign on. But you'll see, this is Monday, Tuesday. So Monday is a morning session, 8:30 to 1:30. And especially Roy Anderson, I've told him thank you because he helped organize his cruise. So you can see, the grader training is gonna happen. I talked to you about at the rodeo grounds. That'll happen on Monday and he'll be training these gentlemen on grading
In the rodeo grounds.
on that road that goes from
Great.
First Street over to
Good
Fifth
idea.
Street. Yeah. And so people are just filling in. So as far as the commissioners, after you recess for lunch on Monday, we'll have Robert going to set up for bingo and visiting at River Mountain Assisted. And still scheduling entertainment, but I believe Erin Malcolm will be playing piano.
Oh, nice.
And Marianne said, most likely she'll play fiddle. Oh, this is how I actually did it,
Oh,
because
cool.
she wouldn't quite commit before she went to her conference this week, but she felt like she would be able to do that. So then Commissioner Smiley going out to Wolford County Park, and I gave you the photo. Kirkwood kind of gave an idea of the work that's needed clearing the fence line. And I'll be calling specifically some public works guys, road guys to help with that project.
Crystal, do I need to bring my pickup and tools for that, do you think?
I think for that one, yes.
Okay, try to remember. They'd probably frown upon me bringing an excavator.
Ask forgiveness.
And then Newport Cemetery, we have tons of pine cones needed to be picked up, so we're doing a morning and an afternoon session, and so then Commissioner Gentle, you're here. Then Tuesday, after you recess for the day, or actually you'll adjourn for the day after lunch. So Commissioner Rosencrantz at the Historical Museum, doing some of their filing research, all
Anything they
sorts of
want
that.
me to do.
And she said, when they have volunteers come, they'll just put you wherever you want. I mean, they've got tons of projects. My question here is Tuesday, 12 o'clock is your normally scheduled meeting with Shannon.
Yeah.
So would you like me to reschedule that or shorten it with her?
What time?
This starts at 1 o'clock.
Oh, I'll be there. I can, after 45 minutes with Shannon's enough.
All right.
Yeah.
And then the big project at Tiger Museum, repairing that fence that's tipping over, digging fence post holes. Also at the museum, painting the big wheel. We have Commissioner Gentle doing that project. So I'll likely be going out and about taking photos of that. Okay, you can kind of see the different spots still needing some work, like we've got some single people here and there. But some good people signing up for these projects. And Newport School District, I told you they determined they didn't have any projects, but we do have
staff that'll be providing goodies as a thank you and end of year service. And then the park and the Players Association. All right, let me see. I'm just gonna go back to this, so we're off of that. All right. So some more details for you gentlemen, and I know Brian that you wanted to leave by 3. And
If we can,
we still need to review the agenda.
I got them locked in there. A little bit.
Okay. So we've been doing food and supply drives for Youth Emergency Services, Family Crisis Network, and the New Food Coalition. So next week during your commissioner meeting, we have Yes and Family Crisis coming here, where you gentlemen will present them the boxes that have been collected so far. The New Food Coalition, which is the 3 food banks combined, they're available Tuesday at 10 o'clock. So when we review the agenda, I'll just go over that a little bit more. But next week will be the end of the food drive and we'll present the donations. So I did apply for that Washington Commerce grant, $1,000 grant, and received confirmation that they received it. The deadline was Friday. And they start reviewing yesterday. I'll find out by the end of June is what they say. But some of the items that I wanted to purchase were like flag type decorations for the front of the building and covering refreshments for that day, the public event on June 30th. We'll have patriotic type cookies, but maybe not from a bakery, specialty bakery, because I've only checked one, but they're $3.50 per cookie. The nicely decorated, you know, sugar cookie. They might be store-bought. I'll keep looking. We do have the Daughters of the American Revolution coming, and they will be bringing single flags, you know, the little parade flags, handing those out. So I suggested to her that if they brought the 100 flags, we could give a donation to their group, $100. The Sons of the American Revolution, not sure if they're going to be able to come, but if they came, I'd also suggested a $100 donation to them through this grant. Okay. Oh, part of this grant, which took me a while to get submit, is if you're in partnership with a historical society, that upped your points, your potential to get a grant. So I've been in collaboration with Sumara for quite some time, but they're going to bring in exhibits for this main entryway the week before our June 30th event. So that whole week they'll have everything in that display case. Marianne will remove and they'll put a nice exhibit there. Okay. Maybe some standalone things as well. So it's going to be pretty festive.
Nice.
And she's purchased some flags and things. And so I think that'll be helpful. Okay, and then I wanted to suggest that you would look at these, the tree dedication plaque. So the plaque will be about 8 by 10. Ben met me at Country Lane and looked at it. It's a nice sturdy plaque, and he will still apply that to a 4 by 4 post. We can't get too wordy. This is about as many words as we can fit on the plaque. Otherwise the words would be quite small. But do you have any preference looking at these? I found this other one, which kind of had more of a little saying at the end about a tribute to the past, present, and future.
I really like that one.
Okay, and I think, John, you suggested something earlier that you'd like to have a little saying on it besides just the date, right?
I like just the bottom, starting with the 1776 to 2026, a living tribute, start from there down.
Less is more. I love it.
Yeah, and I mean, it's all good, but if we had to cut it down, I would just cut those first 2 sentences off that bottom
Okay.
section.
Yeah.
Personally, I like something on there that would say America 250,
Yeah,
like one additional line. If you're agreeable to that.
but we could add that, we could just put the date, I like the date and say America's 250. A living tribute to past, present, and future of the United States,
Okay,
if that's not too much.
no, I think that'd be fine. And there's no limit to the number of words. The engraving is included in the cost of the plaque.
Okay,
All right, so that plaque is ordered. Now, the second page of this is suggested wording to dedicate a tree. If you guys will all look at that and come back next week with maybe your favorites or even revisions to any of these.
as long as none of those were created with AI, we're all good.
Oh, on the bottom, it says created by AI
Right,
with assistance by
You can read it off the teleprompter, just like Joe Biden.
easy.
right.
Yeah. Okay, and then the reading of the Declaration of Independence. Each of you still have your scripts, I believe. I'd like to just briefly talk about the order of the day. So this event is going to happen on those steps. There's a little platform between the top steps and the bottom steps where we'll have a lectern with a little binder with the script. And hopefully all 10 elected officials will be standing on the steps and then go down to the microphone, which Shane and IT are taking care of the speaker's microphone for us. So the elected officials will each read one section of their script and then step aside and just kind of move down the row. I would like introductory remarks, first by the chair to welcome everybody. So I said this kind of out of order. There will be a singer of the national anthem. Okay. I wondered if you guys wanted to have an opening prayer or not.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, okay. All right.
Who's gonna do that? Should we invite somebody to do that, or one of us do that?
So what do you guys want to do?
What are your thoughts, guys?
It just depends on how the rest of it is split out.
Yeah,
You know, if you've got a lot, if you, yeah, depends on how it's split out.
Okay. I was kind of hoping you would open it.
mhm,
If you were agreeable to an opening prayer, that would happen.
absolutely, it's fine.
And then maybe the next commissioner would introduce the national anthem singer, which I'm keeping a secret, some secrets, is that all right? And after that, then the next commissioner would introduce the reading of the document. So each of you would have a speaking part like that.
Mhm.
So as far as prayers, there are some great prayers in the Bible as far as
Mhm.
He doesn't need any help, Crystal.
if my people
I don't know any, so.
will humble themselves and pray,
Mhm.
talks about a greater nation.
Yeah, my inclination was, well, it'd be fun to invite somebody to do that, but it's a little more risky and a little more complicated, so I'm happy to do something, Crystal. I will prepare something ahead of time
Okay,
if I'm doing it.
all right. Okay, and as far as the barbecue, so we'll be providing the barbecue to employee appreciation. All staff are invited to that. And then I've also invited the Daughters of the American Revolution, the singer, anyone that's participating. I've said we'll also feed them. Okay, and that'll start at noon, basically. This program will last maybe 45 minutes. Going to the tree dedication, and then I have contacted the Newport High School to provide entertainment, either the band or the choir, and I need to double check with him tomorrow. He was going to talk to the students. School is out, but he thought maybe some of them would want to be interested, would be. And I said they'll remember it for the rest of their lives that they participated in that celebration. Okay, and then refreshments out on this lawn. The barbecuing, we're gonna try and get 3 barbecuers. So it'll be out here outside my window in the shade. And Liz Krasneski, Stacy. What's her married name? You know, Stacy. From the finance office. They're taking care of the barbecue. The one thing I need from the commissioners is money for the meat and buns.
How much do you want
How much do you want, when do you need it?
By June 18th. So how about if I figure out what the total is? That is not something I've done yet as far as how much is needed. And then the spreadsheet for that barbecue will go out Monday from Liz because we didn't want to interfere with our America 250 sign up. So after that's over, she'll send that out.
And then we'll ultimately have an itinerary for the day, yeah,
Yes.
please.
Yes, so I've asked Lindsay, who I know loves to do flyers, brochures. I met with her last week to do a flyer, which I will publish in the newspapers. And then email to everybody I know, just really get it out. And then for the actual day, there'll be a minimized portion of that with the actual agenda on it. Okay. We have the elected officials department heads meeting on the 16th of June. I was gonna ask the electeds to come 10 minutes early and do a read through of the declaration to kind of find the pace and kind of how we would do that. That's fine, all right. Are there any questions? Mainly, I
I
just,
think you've done all the thinking for us.
Oh.
Yes, so
okay, about that,
we're distracted on other things, so
would you mind paying me for the time I lay in bed thinking about these?
no,
details?
we're not gonna pay. If we
Like,
got paid for the time we
Details,
laid in bed, we'd be.
details, it's like,
Yes.
but I
I know
think,
my hourly rate's down to like $2 or something.
Yeah, I know. Exactly.
but all of the pieces are coming together, both for next week and then, a couple of weeks later, the other project. And I feel it's gonna be a great celebration. We're gonna have a lot of people.
It sounds like it does.
It should be well advertised.
Yeah.
I'm just a little concerned of getting that flyer out a little later than I had hoped, but
Yeah.
that'll happen. And then just pray that we get the grant
Yeah. I think we will.
because,
I have a feeling.
oh yeah, I use the whole Frontier One county type language. That was another one of their things, your population versus density. We're the 7th lowest population in the state
Yeah.
versus density.
Yeah.
And then just all the things, also have invited the tribe.
Right.
And also, that would be a great impact if we could partner with them.
Yeah. Okay.
And if we can, I mean, I don't know functionally, but I would change much of anything if dollars was a limiting factor. We'll sort it out.
Right.
We will simply
So-
sort it out.
Thank you. And I want to remind you that the IIMC conference that was budgeted for this year, I saved $1,200 by getting that through the auction package. So we have that in our miscellaneous that was budgeted.
Okay.
And I would like to buy some of the special flakes, different things for the
Yeah.
front to really make it
Okay.
beautiful.
Now, how's that food drive going?
Sparse. Like maybe a total of 5 boxes altogether.
Yeah.
And again, it's just a couple people that are doing it, not,
Right,
well, I'm still waiting for the weed board and WSU. They've been collecting their own box, so they'll bring that Friday.
okay,
But I did ask one department if they'd put a box out for their staff, very large staff. And they would rather not, but thought maybe their staff would. come over.
sure.
But
How do you
it's
feel
not
about
bad.
taking a picture of the sparse and saying, come on, guys. You can do better than that. Like, I'm embarrassed enough. I'm darn near, I mean. I was gonna do mine entirely separate. entirely separate. Kim and I were gonna do an order and take it down to them, but I don't wanna sit at the table with those people coming, here's your bag of pancake
Yeah.
mix, right? It's like, come on.
Although when I talked to Family Crisis Network on the phone, I said, we're not getting a lot. She goes, anything you donate would be a welcome. But yeah, I am disappointed, and I don't know what the reasoning is that there's no
Yeah.
involvement.
Everybody's busy, is
Yeah.
really most of it, so.
Right.
But it might be worth saying, hey, I thought we could do better than this. It is, I truly believe, because if we don't sort it, then government steps in and says, no, we're gonna take your money and give it to whoever that's just the way that works. Trying to soapbox, we gotta take care of our own community.
I had high hopes. We
Yeah.
had done a supply drive for one of those organizations, at our first all-staff training at the Roxy. And we had 50 boxes. I mean, people were loading those boxes out of
Yeah.
the Roxy. It was like enormous amount of participation. So I'll send out a reminder email about that.
I'm not kidding. I would use that photo and say, this is lame. I would drop it. I would drop it.
We have, Olga's helping me with that, getting the boxes, and she's been
Beautiful.
taking them downstairs to Public Works as we fill them up to kind of store them down there. But I think we only have 3.
Yeah.
And then whatever we still have here.
Okay.
Thank you. Let's quickly just go over the agenda, at your desk so that I can see. Monday, June 8th. So on your agenda that's going out, it says Padre County's America's 250 Week of Service. Monday in your consent, the only thing I have so far is the MOU for Lane Thompson that came in. And then (10:15) public comment. 10:30 will be the presentation of the food and supply rights to Family Crisis Network Youth Emergency Services. Some of their staff will be here. You guys will hand them the boxes. I'll take pictures. And then we're going to have a secret ceremony for that flag display case. She'll be here, but won't know that that's happening. It's a surprise. And then Mary Malone, when I asked if she would come in for an update, was it about the Community Wildfire Defense Fund or grant? Or was it a different?
That was one. It was also about the Medellin matching funds.
Okay, so she said the gentleman that does the wildfires,
Steven,
he's not here next week, so we'd have to postpone it.
okay.
Okay, so that's what we'll do there.
Yeah.
After,
Is that pressing, Robert, for the grant?
It's not pressing, but it is important.
Riverbank, okay, we have some time, it seems.
It's a little bit of time, yes.
Are you okay with both of them? Okay.
okay, then I'm saying your lunch is from 11:30 to 12:30, and then you'll go to your organization for the 1 o'clock start time. Tuesday at 9:15, Public Works update for 45 minutes. Because the new food coalition, the food bank that's down on Pine. Hopefully all of you, if you can do this in, will take the boxes of the food bank. And that is where Olga will be volunteering. They're having a grow your own garden, and she's helping assist with that. And that's when they're available. She cannot come here for a presentation because they're short-staffed. So I just have 15-minute slot where you're gonna go down there, come back, and have a bid opening at 10:15.
Okay, it's quick.
The bid opening is the courthouse roof membrane replacement. After that, at 10:30, Shane has an IT update. On my calendar, I show that this is the one where you would like to have a incident response plan. Did you talk to Shane about getting that start getting that prepared,
Oh.
like, that was the priority, start getting that and to talk about it at the next update.
Yes,
I can remind him about that.
please do.
And then at 11:30, you're adjourning for the day, going to your next organization. Monday at 4 o'clock. Commissioner Gentle, you'll need to come back for your left one meeting.
Okay.
So after your pine cones. And then Tuesday, 4 o'clock, Family Crisis Network Board Meeting. 5:30, the Planning Commission will be here. 7 o'clock, Medellin Falls Town Council. Wednesday, June 10th, 9 o'clock is the Ponderay Representatives Meeting at the PUD Conference Room. 1:30 are the TED Executive Director interviews in Colville and via Teams. And I thought, are you probably going to observe those? No?
I hadn't thought about it.
John,
Do what?
were you gonna observe the TED interviews for their executive directors?
No.
The other counties had 2 or more commissioners that were going to observe.
That's Wednesday,
Yes, 1:30,
and it's Zoom, it's via Teams.
via Teams.
Robert, you're doing both, you're doing and you're doing that in person?
I'm gonna do it from this table.
Okay, I probably won't. I hate Teams, but I'll think about it.
Is that, are they tallying 2 votes from each county?
No, but they wanted to make it available to all commissioners,
Right.
since it's the tri-county.
Thoughts on that, Robert?
It's really a matter of how much information you want. The executive committee will make the final vote as to who is going to be selected. So it's really a matter of how well informed you want to be about the process and about the thinking that goes into how that decision is made.
Yeah.
Totally up to you.
Yeah, if it rests with the executive committee ultimately, then I'm resigning.
Hello, how are you?
I am well. Looks like might be the person that I need to talk to.
Do you mind if, hi,
Um,
would you mind sitting at in the chair for just a moment, against the wall? Yeah. It'll be just a moment,
okay,
just finishing up something here.
oh, okay.
I believe, Commissioner Gentle, you're also doing the PB Falls on Wednesday,
Thursday.
Thursday. Okay, I'm not putting it on here since it's not a formal event, but you've got that. Not postponed. You're going to the Fair Board tonight.
Yep.
Those minutes and agendas still aren't going to Ben Eggleston.
Okay, we will get
So
that
I
happen.
forwarded that to him, but I did.
Okay.
Review it,
I
okay?
will get that to happen, that's probably K.
Yes.
Okay.
And then also, the task list, the projects, they're probably gonna give that to you tonight.
Okay. Those volunteer projects,
Yes,
okay,
right now we just have various projects. Okay, lastly is hotel motel tax. One of the organizations that received $1,000 award paid for a Selkirk Loop brochure ad. That went nowhere. They
right,
haven't received their check back. They're wondering if they can use that for other uses. And I didn't feel like it would be right.
no, I don't think so. What do you guys think?
That was for last year's award.
Oh,
They would then use it this year for other projects. And you approved it, the committee approved it
Based on that.
for an ad event.
no,
It was a full support that.
And has specific use.
Thanks, survey.
Yeah, actually, Crystal, no, I'm sorry, I've got a question.
All right.
Do you feel like there's sufficient clarity around the day of service? Like, are the tools waiting on site? Are we responsible for bringing our own kit anywhere?
So there's a secondary document that I've been sending out, and it's more detailed information about each of the areas. And I'll say, bring work gloves, bring a rake if you have it. So for you, anyone picking up sticks, pine cones, there are grabbers that are downstairs in the public works room in a garbage can. You take your grabber and then bring it back. The cemetery has buckets. They're gonna burn the pine cones, so they have a tractor. We also have a whole box of bags from solid waste that are gonna be available for the different projects.
Okay.
So I will send out more information like, remember, come here, pick up your tools. But on that document, it says if you need to bring a rake or not, because some of them are provided.
Or an excavator, John.
What's that?
Well, excavator, I recommend that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like that document spelled it out
Yeah.
pretty well.
Thank you.
Like, wear garden gloves, wear work gloves, bring a rake.
Earplugs.
Oh, I did that too. Eyeglass, or what do you call, eye protection, ear protection. Any other questions, John? Okay, don't adjourn yet.
I won't.
Thanks for waiting. I'm Crystal Sisti.
Rod Schaefer, I'm the regional manager for the NMA motorcycle, Northwest Motorcycle.
Okay,
And so basically I want to talk to the city council.
okay.
Is that you guys?
Your event's gonna be held in Newport, in the city limits?
Or what?
Is your event gonna be held in?
No, what, okay, so what we're doing, we're working on the Beatty Bowl Trail System.
Yes.
And I know you guys got a grant for the trailheads.
Yeah.
And I was up there with the city council about 5-6 years ago.
I was
Okay.
committed.
When we proposed that and walked it all.
That's the county commissioners.
Okay, and so what we would like to do is propose. When you guys put that campground in, is to put like a kids intermediate
Okay.
trail in there. And we will be, we'll design it, build it, there'll be no cost. The NMA will fund it all.
All right, let me ask, Mr. Chair, are you?
I know,
Sending Mike a text right now to see if he's still here.
Okay.
And I thought we might pass him off to Mike
Okay,
and make his
Yeah.
presentation. We have Parks Director
okay,
that's in charge of that part. He leaves right about now. I'm checking to see if he's here right now. I might pass you down to him.
okay. Yeah, I was up there when the city council was gathering there 5-6 years ago.
Just call him.
And I know that there were a couple close incidents Memorial Day weekend with kids on the logging
Oh.
road.
we're there?
Well, yeah, 'cause there's really no place for the kids to ride or intermediate people.
Did you lose any trees in that last storm?
Don't talk to me about trees now, we've cut so many.
Sore subject.
Oh. But we pretty much got the whole trail system, Beatty Bowl and LPO cut out. So,
I'm gonna give you our park director's contact information. His name is Mike Kirkwood,
okay,
and like the chair said, he's already gone for the day, but you can call him tomorrow.
all right.
Michael, we'll hear what you have to say. If he may, if it's a question for the commissioners for us to make a decision, he'll advise you on that. And it might be something he can decide and, we can go from there.
Yeah,
So,
and then plus, I'm sure it'd be, bring in more people into
Sure.
the area because that was a family
you bet.
friendly environment,
You bet.
so.
I think it's great.
Yeah,
It's perfect.
no, it's excellent.
Yeah, the Beatty Bowl was built and designed for more. Intermediate to advanced riders. And unfortunately, like where the kids were riding, they kind of closed it all off.
Well,
that's,
The Baby Bowl Trail and Granite Creek Trail is why I don't have an ACL in my right knee. So I'm pretty aware of it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I was there in '84 when we were designing it and building it.
so you don't hear back from Mike, you make sure to call me.
Okay, I do that. I really appreciate you guys' time and stuff. Sorry, I'm not.
Oh, you're
from
fine.
work and up there.
And we're sorry, we gotta kind of get going, so we're
Well,
sorry.
We get it.
There's
Okay, have a good day.
Thank you.
Where's your bathroom at?
You can go upstairs and take a left.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Madam Clerk, anything else?
No, I'm just very excited for next week.
Good.
I feel like it's gonna be impactful for the community and the great outreach.
Right, I'm excited about it too.
I think you guys are doing a good thing and I.
Who's that? Commissioners, anything else?
No,
I'm gonna run, so I have some money to buy some food, donate. Let's adjourn.
All right, 3:10. Did you give me that sheet back? Yeah, I'm gonna take this sheet back. Oh, and I'm actually just gonna disturb you. You'll be the one.
Right, I'll be the one that leading that. Bring my dozer to clear that fence line.
Yeah, well, that's the irony, is that,
Thank you so much for joining. See you next week.
run it down the line.